up? It's your girl Mwende Macharia here at EMM Online TV. Once again at Summary Hotel, Karibu Sana. You know what? I'm joined by one gorgeous, amazing, bubbly superwoman, Letoya Johnstone. What up, what up, what up, what up?
Hey everybody, this is yours truly, Letoya Johnstone, #pungulu.com, XOXO, kill it with love. Bam! Yes. Or do you want me to repeat it?
You have such a good energy. I love it.
Oh, your energy is amazing, my darling. Thank you.
Let's see who has the most energy from today.
You are as beautiful as a god.
How are you? How are you doing? Until you don't speak any Swahili?
I've been pretending, but I know how to speak Swahili. Habari yako mzuri?
Huh?
So okay, let's just continue in English.
You schooled in Kenya though?
Yes, all my life.
All your life?
Yes, my darling.
Welcome. No, let's do this
Thank
first.
you, my darling.
Sana to EMM Online.
Oh, Tamarind is really doing us good. Tamarind Tree Hotel, darling.
For most people who've seen you probably in magazines, they have read about you, they've seen you on television. Who is Letoya Johnstone?
So Letoya Johnstone is number one, is a counselor who is a HIV and AIDS counselor, dealing with people who are living with HIV, trying to save lives, to make people normalize HIV and AIDS, and to realize that nobody goes to the supermarket and say, hey, I want HIV quota. No, it is just more of a life experience that happens to people. And then after that, me as a counselor, I come over to try and talk to you so that you can realize your potential to be able to make decisions that best fit so that you are able to live as an individual. Apart from that,
that's number one.
That's number one.
Number two.
Number two, I'm a catwalk coach extraordinaire. I don't catwalk, I float.
And I can attest to that. You remember the Connie Alot shoot? One of my best shoots ever. I remember you were like, Queen.
But your body was body of God. As I told you, God is a woman. This.
All right, okay. I would want to know how you got into doing that, to be in, fashion, catwalk and stuff like that. Number three, what are you again?
Oh, also number three, I'm a fashion stylist who is upcoming and trying. I've worked with the most incredible people like Lucy Robbie of the Eve Woman. I've worked with Connie Alot, the extraordinary, the one and only East and Central fashion stylist who's ever been to school, learning and knowing.
I know. She's amazing.
I know. I learned so much from both ladies. And then also I own Toy Models, which is a modeling agency for both transgender and LGBT community and other people who are heterosexual who are coming in for them to learn. It is called Toy Models, meaning Letoya Johnstone models you to become the best person in the society. There is no hate, no discrimination.
This one.
And everybody is exposed to business.
Letoya Johnstone, were you... say what? Action? Let me do that again.
Pose, darling.
So were you always Letoya Johnstone though? Were you always this phenomenal, amazing woman that you are?
Well, I think when it comes to phenomena or phenomenalness, BBC Africa named me a fashion icon, which is one of the things that shocked me because I was just doing any normal interview. So one day I woke up and then I saw on BBC International written, because my interview was done by BBC Africa. So BBC International posted it and they said, oh, Letoya Johnstone, the transgender icon. That iconic word is still shaking me up to date. So I think I started on as just a normal kid. I was always wearing dresses, being beautiful. There was nothing like, oh, this is a man, this is whatever. Everybody loved me for who I was. Until when it got into my teenage life that people started questioning, then they started throwing tantrums to my parents. Then it made life become so
let me understand. You were born a boy child.
Yes.
A boy child.
Yes.
And then through life you transitioned. Is that it? No?
Well, I would say that I was born a woman. But at birth, judging from whatever is between the legs, I was a man.
Let me ask you. Yes. So here you are, born as a young boy. Your parents were number what child?
Yeah.
Number what?
I was only one child. I was born one child. There was no brother or sister. Then I got adopted in another family, which is a family of 7 wives. And the first one had like around, is it 8 or 10 children? And then the second one had like, I think 12 or 10 children.
Wow.
Then they kept on going. Then the third wife never gave birth. Then the fourth one, it was just like that. So we are really basically so many.
Like, that's
I come from a very polygamous family.
This is where in Kenya?
I first of all grew up in Kindu Bay. Then I got adopted in Homa Bay.
All right.
So from Homa Bay is more like home, but Kindu Bay is where I come from.
And I think this is what many people want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, we are two in our family.
Exactly.
I'm the first one, and then my brother. Like,
No way.
yes, that's how we grew up. So for you being in these large, amazing family, how was life?
Life was really so hard because everybody had to fend for themselves, and more so being adopted in a family that everybody else is heterosexual, and then I happened to be the only transgender person. They've never heard of gay, they've never heard of anything. I was taken to so many churches, including prayer people to pray for me. There were some people who were brought in to cut me so that they could really drive away of the demons of people who could make me get attracted to men. It was just like a long haul story.
This was in your teenage years?
And yes, and apart from that, I remember I got kicked out from home when I was 8 years old, and I started working as a housemaid when I was 8 years old in Homa Bay. That's how tough it was.
Wow.
And that's the other part that people don't know. People see success, but nobody wants to understand or listen to the process.
So what was happening there? 8 years, you've been chased away from home. What was going on in the family?
So,
was it because you were behaving like a girl or what?
Exacto. It was more of I was behaving like a girl, and it's like the parents were having conversation, but they don't reach you.
Okay.
Because most of the time, whenever they are talking in a polygamous family, it is more of a gossip, but gossip is really cheap. In Lowland, we call it grapevine.
Grapevine.
Yes, darling. So people were really talking, but nobody could really face the child and tell them. So you keep on growing until when now you are around 10 years. And then with me, the fact that I never understood Swahili, I skipped classes.
Goja. So you've never done Swahili all your life?
No.
So it's either Luopian or...
It is Luo or that. Swahili, whenever it used to come, I used to score 0 or less. So I was never really that good. Even in high school. Whatever they say, kill it with love. #Google.com.
Sips and drink.
Ooh, challenge, it's blue honey, just like my top. Tamarind Tree Hotel, I see you.
That's all right. I was watching an interview that you did previously, and you say that part of you growing up, there was ever a time they put you in a dog's house.
Yeah.
What was that about?
We had this dog that was called Bush, and most of the times I could be myself, but that was not right with the people that I used to live with. I don't want to specify because that one is going to look like I'm really making other people horrible, and my family, they don't like being put in the box. I don't want to end up in jail. They are a little bit. So I could be kicked out, and the Bush house, which was the dog's kennel, was where I could spend the night.
This was when you were how old?
That was when I was like around, from when I was like around 6.
That's pretty young.
Yeah, from when I was like around 6. So by the time it got to 8, I started to fend for myself. So I started working as a maid. I was going to school in primary school. I was working for some lady called Catherine Ubura. And then later on, it just kept on moving on and on and on, and I evolved. But I knew where I wanted to be. So
what is this that you wanted to do?
I wanted to become somebody.
Because this is back in home.
Exactly. I was scrubbing the toilet and doing that, but I was still going to school. Oh, and the salary was actually 500 Kenyan shillings at the end of the month. There is like a very high-end celebrity in Kenya that I'm not going to mention the name, used to come to the place where I used to work as a maid, whereby I could always host him and his friend. And yeah, sure. So I'm not like lying about my past.
So like there are actual people that we can ask about, and
Of
they would
course.
attest to this.
Yes.
All right. So this is you went to school all the way to Form 4?
Yes, I went to school all the way to Form 4.
All
I
right.
was in like around when I was about to reach class 4. I skipped classes, went to Chiepe, then boom, came back to finish at Gotrobor, then went to Homa Bay Academy. Then from Homa Bay Academy, I went to Otok Secondary School. In all these places, there were family members who were actually the headmasters or the principals.
How were the other kids taking? I mean, looking at you like
Oh, they were looking at me like they don't understand me. But the girls loved me. I used to buy girls' pads when I was in high school.
You had money.
Actually, I could really keep them. I didn't have money. I just knew what the girls needed the most.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Letoya, tell me. So here you are, you're done with studies.
Yeah.
At what point do you understand that you're a transgender? At what point?
Well, all my life, I've always known that I was different. Whenever, because where I come from, it's more like you share a house with the boys and you could be put in the boys' side. And I felt that I was getting attracted to them.
Okay.
However, you can't touch or look at, because number one, sex, whether you are male or female in my family, you can't have sex before you reach the time of having sex. So you can only look, the feelings were there and things like that. And I got attracted to so many people. Remember, we come from the lake, so we could really get naked in the lake, and I saw it all. During high school, I could really like hit on some boys, but there was nothing much I could do because people didn't like me in high school. Actually, in high school, it was so interesting that I was suppressing it so bad, but they nicknamed me Pamela.
Just like that?
In a top.
Did you, were you doing your hair? Or you
I was not doing my hair. I was wearing my trousers. I was always clean, wearing my perfume. And of course, I was
What's your
the
favorite
best.
perfume up until now?
During that,
Right now?
Right now, I have like 3 perfumes that are my favorite. One of them is Gabrielle by Chanel. The second one is Lancôme La Nuit. And then the third one is actually Tom Ford.
Tom Ford.
Shockingly enough. Then during high school times, there was one that was called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I remember, I'm going to tell you. Oh, it was by Rasasi.
Lazima ilikuwa hiyo.
Yeah.
You. Remember you? There was something like that?
Yeah, but I was never using that. I was coming from a good family, so I could use like better deodorants, like
Wait
Nivea.
Wait a minute. Before we continue with this story,
Yeah.
what's the most expensive thing that you have?
If I say, people are going to chase after me, so I can't say.
Whisper in my ear.
She can't hear because she's really trying to get it on record. I'm not going to give it to her. But I have one of the most expensive things that is really going for millions of money.
You buy them or this is a gift from people?
It was a gift from somebody.
Somebody
and
special?
not only one, but I have
Somebody special, Letoya?
Thank God they're women and I don't do women, so nobody's going to kill me, not from a man.
Is there a man, I mean, anything that a man has ever given you that was costly for you to be with them?
Yeah, there is really something that a man has ever given me that is so costly that could make me like drive away from them, which was headache. No, that was very expensive, and mental health issues. So up to now, there is no man in my life. I've never had any man, so...
Never had? Hey, Letoya, you drink some.
Well,
Give me the story.
you asked me if
Tell me
I have
that.
ever had a man.
Yes.
I've ever had sex with a man, but I've never had a man says, Letoya, I'm dating you.
Okay.
You are my girlfriend.
Is this something that you would want?
Oh, sweetie, every woman in this life wants the most cheapest house like Tamarind Tree Hotel and a man to make them feel better. Because who do I wake up to cook French fries too, wet fry beef,
Breakfast in bed.
breakfast in bed,
I like that.
waking up into Spanish omelette. We all want to do this kind of thing. Who do I want to wake up to and buy like over 200,000 or what we call like $2,000 watch? Nobody wants that. Well, they all want that, but they don't want to say, hey, baby, I need you.
Johnstone, tell me something.
Talk to me.
What's the kind of man you love?
The kind of a man I'm looking for is a man who understands who he is and who I am as a woman that I am, as a transgender woman, a man that my personality don't threaten, a man that can take me out for a dinner at Tamarind Tree Hotel and really look on the other side to check if somebody's looking at me and go to him and tell him, that is my woman.
When you go out,
to hold my hand.
the time that you've gone out with the men, have you gone like in public places and they're comfortable?
Shockingly enough, I've really never gone out with men. Never ever in my life. Walking or going to a club with men or doing whatever. No. It's either I meet them there or which, like when it came to club, I've only gone to a club when Akode introduced me to the club. Because I was styling her before.
Okay.
Such an amazing woman. Oh, I love her so much. So she's the one who took me to Kiza. That was the first time I went to club. But then there were bodyguards everywhere. You can't even look at
So you
anyone.
met somebody there?
I never met anybody there. I was like really protected. I felt safe.
You felt safe.
You can't even look at
For
anybody.
many people, I think the thing they would want to know is for you, you've always been attracted to men.
Yeah.
Does this mean, because you see, growing up in our society,
Yeah.
have you ever been with a woman?
Never ever have I been with a woman. Never ever have I lost a woman. Never ever have I admired a woman. Never ever have I looked at a woman. Even if I'm appreciating them for who they are.
Okay.
There are friends that I can't mention their names. We've walked naked in the house. We've
And
taken a shower
nothing.
together in the bathroom, and nothing has ever happened. But if a dude comes with a good, I would be just like, Lord, I need some cocktail from the tamarind tree. I meant cocktail.
Thank you. Going to a bit more serious stuff.
Yeah.
In one of your past interviews as well,
Yeah.
you've spoken about suicide. You tried it for about 10 times?
Yeah.
When was this and at what point of your life?
The recent one was when I'm living in Kibera, as you all know. Nobody is able to get me a job because of my sexuality. And there's people that I've worked with, have run away with my money. I'm not mentioning names, they know who they are. And so I became broke and bankrupt. So when I became broke, I was not able to fend for myself. So I went into depression.
I'm sorry about
And
that.
when I did that and I see some people getting successful, I really opted for suicide because I just wanted to end my life.
all that.
Apart from that, again, it is like also issues that are coming from when I was young, the way I was being treated. It's just like you are getting this famous Letoya, but on the other side, there are people who knows very well that you went to primary school with a hole on your butt. And these people keeps on telling you about it. There are also some people that you grew up with and they've become famous right now, and now they can't have interviews with you or they can't talk to you or they've cut you off. So whenever you are going and an opportunity comes where they are able to talk to you, it's like they cut you off. Other people don't see because we all make all these things look so good. More so whenever you become a public figure, it is more like you learn to hide and to laugh about everything, to make everything look good on the camera. But once the camera shut, you just become you and you get into a depression. So I did not have money. Success was coming, but there was no money at all. Then you keep on thriving, then there is somebody who's blocking your way up. And then you are living with people who are in the LGBT community. You get into these LGBT community organizations and none of them could hire you. Because they could tell you that, Letoya, you are too out. If we hire you, people will know that this organization is dealing with LGBT community. So for that reason, we can't hire you, but we can only be calling you for this and that. So you realize that before you are called, there is like really backlog of a whole thing. So those are some of the things that made me think of suicide. Thank God, at least I never went through, but I tried. There was a time in Homa Bay, I remember I almost went psychotic to an extent that I was rushed in the hospital because I fainted in the middle of the main road. I had to be picked, rushed to the hospital, because during those times I got raped so bad that I almost died. So it is more like all these things were playing. Whew.
Sorry about that.
No, that one. So anyway,
sorry about that.
Sorry. I got raped so bad that I almost lost my life. So people started making fun of me. And it became so hard. And it was really so crazy. And I really wanted to kill myself because I didn't want anybody to laugh at me. And Auntie Kato, the lady that I used to live with, actually found me when I was just climbing on top of the 4th floor to drop down, head down. And I'm supposed to be a strong bitch. Jesus Christ, is that my lashes coming out?
We're good. We're good.
Anyway, I wanted to commit suicide because when I went to the hospital in Homa Bay, I got a doctor. I was given PEP, but then PEP was giving me hallucinations and things like that. And it was like a trigger that kept on bringing in everything that had happened. I went to the police. The police were calling these people back to tell them, oh, Letoya called your name. And for that reason, so everybody wanted to kill me. So it became so hard until I had nobody. So I ran away from home. Then I was working as a housemaid. And from working as a housemaid, that is how I got a job at MSF France.
Okay.
Because the MSF people are the only people who took me in, gave me counseling, and up to date, I'm still best friend to Nyawira Githaiga, who was the psychologist during that time, who took me through. And it took for more than 3 years for me to heal.
I'm sorry about that.
And today I'm here. That's why I remember I came from nothing for me to keep on becoming, to be. And I don't want to lie to the youths. I want to tell them that it is okay. You don't have to be great to be great. You don't have to come from a rich family. You can come from nothing and you can become something. Me as Letoya Johnstone, I've done it, and it is really worth it. The sacrifices are crazy. Don't think that whenever you see people posting good fonts and whatever on social media that life is like that. No, baby. Once those cameras shut down, they become themselves and they cry.
Well, Letoya, you're great out there. Outside Kenya, people recognize you. You're the one you were telling me.
Yes, baby. Vogue Italia is following me, and Vogue America is following me. And the other day, Vogue British Editor-in-Chief Edward Enninful,
how do they know
His
about
Excellence,
you?
actually came to my wall and viewed my story. Do you even know how big that is? Sweetie, cheers.
Cheers.
Darling. From Christ to the big things that could ever happen.
To the world. Letoya to the world. How do they know about you though?
Sweetie, who don't know about Letoya Johnstone?
Back in Italy, they know Letoya.
Oh, in the US.
You told me it's not France. It's
Fresh.
You told me it's for?
France.
France.
That could be the language, sweetie. I don't know. I'm just saying that because other people know how to speak French.
How do they get to know about you though?
I think it is more of the kind of models that I have created, or the models that I always mingle with. And these are the people who are my friends, like Chanel Nyasiase, who's covered the covers of 3 Vogue magazines. It is also something to do with the almighty, amazing, your royalty, Queen Olga Nato. Olga Nato is also among the people, because she moved from here, she goes to France, and she's there. She tags me on some of the work that I've done with her. These are some of the reasons as to why I've been known worldwide.
So,
yes.
I mean, with your name huge out there, here in the country, you're talking about people still having a difficulty to, to understand you, to accept you. How is this affecting your life?
I think it is not about how people are not accepting Letoya or understanding Letoya. I do believe that this one is more on all transgender people.
Okay.
People tend to understand who gay people are, or who intersex people are, or lesbian people are. But they don't find time to understand who transgender people are. And it is a global thing. So a transgender person is a person who do not identify with the sex that they were born in at birth.
Okay.
And a transgender word is an umbrella term, meaning third gender.
All right.
So I don't mean like it means that, but basically it is the third gender. So being a transgender person, it means that an intersex person can be a transgender. That is the reason as well we say transgender and gender non-conforming persons. Meaning there are other people who do not fall in the category of male or female. They could call themselves it, they, or I.
How for you? She.
For me, it is a she, her, hers. Meaning I'm a transgender woman. I am a woman. I've never gone to any surgery. I've never taken any medicine to transition to becoming a woman. When you transition to become a woman, you are called a transsexual. Yes.
Okay, all right.
But if you've never gone through any change, you are being called a transgender. So you can become a transgender woman, and a transgender woman, there are like transsexuals who is transgender women. There are also transsexuals who are transgender men. However, me, I was born like this. Everything that I have, my nyama, my hips, my body, my whatever.
Been there.
It's me the way I am. I've never taken any pill to enhance anything on my body.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with other people who go through with the surgery and all that. No, it is what people choose, because sometimes it is called affirmation of the gender. So if you were born a woman and you feel like you are a trans man, it means that you want to go through surgery for breast removal and all that, and you take hormones so that you can become a man. Or vice versa is also.
But for you choose to be like this?
Well, I choose to be like this. And every mark that you see on me is because I've been raped, I've been attacked, I've been really put into a situation whereby people wanted to kill me.
Just because.
And it is not only this, but because of my sexuality, sexual orientation, and my gender. That is the transgender.
Do you have a Kenyan ID? Because I know.
Of course I do have a Kenyan ID.
How do they identify there?
They identify me there as male. Because when I was getting the job with MSF France, I had to actually add my age because I was working as a housemaid and I was young. And I got a job with MSF, which was like a job that really attracted millions of thousands or thousands of people from everywhere to work in Homa Bay. I happened to be like the one who was picked. So I worked with MSF France, which is Doctors Without Borders, for 3 good years. So after that, I worked with Women Fighting AIDS in Kenya, still on the program of youth-friendly health service provision. But in MSF, I was working with children from as low as possible, because I was working at the MCH, which is maternal health care. I was also working at the maternity, because we also have to teach these women not to infect their children. I was working at the youth-friendly health service provision, and I was also working at the children, which we call the infant maternity care.
Okay.
Yes.
When you walk into a room, I remember the first time I saw you, it was, I was hosting a gig, a fashion event,
Ooh.
and you walked in. I mean, you had braids all the way to the waist.
To my feet.
I was the
to
host.
Be precise.
I was the host of the event, but I stopped. What happens when when you get all these people staring at you, looking at you? What does it make you feel?
You see, from when I was young, people never looked at me. People never paid attention. People never even wanted to ask, who is this? So I think as you grow up, you start doing the things that you never did. And I think that's the reason that's why I hold a diploma in social work, whereby we learn about psychology and all that. But apart from that, I also did counseling psychology on the side from KPC, which is Kenya Association of Professional Counselors. So whenever I'm going somewhere, it is either me or nothing else. So whenever I get into a room, you need to understand who is in the room. You need to know who is in the room.
Number one.
And
No.
Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
Understand.
Who is in the room?
Number two.
Know who is in the room.
Continue.
Number three, appreciate who is in the room. And I do this thing without talking because, number one, nowadays I've grown to be emotionally intelligent. I've grown wiser. And I've lost so much money to an extent that nowadays I've become so smart about how to save on money.
Have you ever gone into an event or somewhere and they kicked you out?
The last time they tried, everybody walked out.
Letoya Johnstone for you. Let's do that. Cut off.
Yes,
So that's Letoya Johnstone for you.
Yours truly, Letoya Johnstone, exo, toy, baby, kill it with love, #boogaloo.com.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. That was fun.
Thank you for having me.
People can follow you on social media.
At Letoya_Johnstone, LETOYA_Johnstone. It is like John and a stone you put together. I don't know who threw the stone to whom, but anyway, those are my names. Yours truly, Letoya Johnstone.
Subscribe, EMM Online TV. Subscribe right there.
Make sure that you subscribe. Is it here, baby, or is it here? Okay, whichever it comes,
And
you will know.
And thank you so much, Tamarind Hotel, for having us. Here you go.
Appreciate you. Darling, Tamarind Tree Hotel.